Jason Lee Scott. I'm sure this guy needs no introduction. You guys know him as the Red Mighty Morphin Power Ranger, the original leader of the team before leaving to go to a peace conference in Switzerland, and later returned in Power Ranger Zeo to be the Zeo Gold Ranger. But did you know that Jason had more powers? Yeah, so in other forms of media, Jason had different Ranger forms, and in this video, we're going to be covering all of them. So first up is MMPR Red, the OG, the original, the one that everyone probably knows about. These powers allow Jason to harness the power of the Tyrannosaurus Rex and wield weapons like the Power Sword. When Tommy soon left the team due to Rita taking his powers away from the Green Candle, Jason soon inherited the Green Ranger's shield and Dragon Dagger, giving him access to use the Dragon Zord when needed. When Lord Zedd arrived on Earth, the Rangers lost their Dinozords and soon got given the Thunderzords, a more powerful upgrade of their Dinozords. Jason pilots the Red Dragon Thunderzord, and the Red Dragon Thunderzord is very different compared to the Tyrannosaurus Zord, as the Red Dragon Thunderzord has two different modes, the Dragon mode and the Warrior mode, where the Zord is able to transform and allows Jason to fight in more of a hand-to-hand combat against giant monsters. But not only that, the Red Dragon Thunderzord can combine with the other Thunderzords in two interesting ways. The Thunder Megazord, where all the Zords are brought together, and the Thunderzord Assault mode, where the Zords turn into an aircraft carrier and the Red Dragon Thunderzord can ride on it like a mount. A few years later, Jason would later become the Gold Zeo Ranger, giving him access to weapons like the Golden Power Staff and Zords like Pyramidas. Now, much like the Thunderzords, Pyramidas did have a Warrior mode and a Carrier mode, and the Zeo powers were meant to get stronger after time and after each battle. So you could say that the Zeo powers are the most powerful powers at the time. Now, if this video was made 10 plus years ago, the video would be over right now, but you're probably looking at the runtime and wondering, what else is there to talk about? Well, the comics, of course, because the comics have had Jason get several new forms, along with other Rangers that I'll probably cover on the channel later down the line, but I know that not everyone likes the comics, and that's okay. They're not for everyone, and I respect that. But if you're curious to see what other forms Jason has gotten in the comics, stick around and keep watching. So at the start of 2024, we had a small miniseries release called Mighty Morphin Power Rangers The Return, a story about what if the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers never broke up and eventually took the fight to Rita and Lord Zedd after one fateful night. But after the battle, they were able to defeat the two villains, but at a terrible loss. This causes the team to split up and never morph again. And Jason at this point in his life has become a firefighter. But after one night after a serious arson case, Jason is unable to save some people and he blames himself. So Jason once again dons the Mighty Morphin Ranger suit and takes matters into his own hands, fighting things from small-time crooks to later terrorism. And this is basically his original Red Ranger suit, just with some extra features added on there. Like the belt and blade blaster holster has been replaced with what seems to be like a leather belt strap and leather-made holster. He's got a sheath for his Power Sword, along with shoulder pads and bandages on his arms. He's even rocking a cape too. The vibes I'm getting with this design is it reminds me of Guts from Berserk or even Last Ronin vibes from TMNT. Now in Go-Go Power Rangers, there's a story arc where Jason and Trini get stranded on a planet called Briel, and somehow they switch powers, Jason becoming the Yellow Ranger and Trini becoming the Red Ranger. This allows Jason to move more nimble and faster while being the Yellow Ranger, which is something the comics touch upon a little bit as the series go on, learning that each one of the Ranger colors gives them special powers and special traits, kind of like an RPG class. Blue makes you smarter, yellow makes you fast, pink is more of a balanced stat, and you can probably guess what the rest of them do. Now, in the early issues of MMPR during the Kyle Higgins run, most of the Rangers lose their powers while fighting Black Dragon, but Tommy sacrifices his powers to activate the others' powers once again, giving them all kind of like a Green Ranger reskin. Nothing too crazy, but it's a really cool concept. Now, in the world of the Coinless, during the invasion of Rita and Tommy, Jason at the last minute was chosen to become the White Ranger, inheriting the White Light, but during the process, he was killed by Tommy, turning himself into Lord Drakkon. Now, this was supposedly the death of Jason in the World of the Coinless, and I would say that if it wasn't retconned in Draken New Dawn, where Jason was never killed and Jason was turned into something called the Prison Ranger, an armored suit that would send an active beacon message to Dark Spectre and their servant Eclipta if he ever escaped. So what that beacon message was, it would mean that Draken is no longer on Earth, and Earth is fresh for the pickings for whoever else is out there, because, Draken is no longer ruling it. But during the final battle, Jason, along with everyone else, soon gets these forms known as the Shattered, and they're alright. They're not my favorite suits in the comics, I'll just say that much. Now, remember how I mentioned the peace conference earlier where Jason, Trini, and Zack had to go to Switzerland for a peace conference, so they had to leave the team? Well, in the comics, that peace conference was all a lie, and what they were really doing in the comics was traveling through space, becoming the Omega Rangers. Now, the Omega Rangers were known to be some of the oldest forms of Rangers within the Power Rangers lore in the comics. I'm not sure if they're the oldest team, but they seem very ancient from how they were described. But Jason soon becomes the Red Omega Ranger, giving him fire-like powers, you could say, when he morphs, but Jason, as the Red Omega Ranger, he gets to pilot the Red Omega Zord, and these suits are personally some of my favorite designs. His power sword becomes a katana, and it's just a really great design. Like, the Omega Rangers are some of my favorite designs in the comics. Later on in the comics, Jason is possessed by the Death Ranger, and the suit goes for a more menacing design, where it's more beefed up, it's got these yellow golden shoulder pads. It's a really menacing design, especially through a lot of comic variants where they give it more of a scary look. Now, although Jason never got Ninjetti powers, he does lose his powers against the Shredder, and he has to give his morpher to Raphael from the Ninja Turtles, leading him and the other Rangers to take on more of a street ninja design. And I really do like these outfits. They are street clothes, but they've also got the dinosaur emblem on it. Jason's also rocking dual-wielding swords, which is really cool. But if you thought the Ninja Turtles becoming Rangers was crazy, how about the Rangers turning into mutants? So when the command center gets damaged, Jason combines his power coin with mutagen and becomes an actual freaking dinosaur. And if you thought that was crazy, how about Jason becoming a kaiju-based ranger, where Jason and the other Rangers combine their powers or get an upgrade within their powers through kaiju in the Godzillaverse, and Jason becomes the Rodan Red Ranger, getting access to the Rodan Red Ranger Zord, but not only that, a brand new Red Ranger design when he becomes a Rodan Red Ranger. So yeah, that is all the different Ranger forms that Jason has had throughout the history of Power Rangers. Which one's your favorite? Tell me in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions. But with that said, I think I'm going to bring this video to a close. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching, peace out, and take care.